I'm Ciaran Doran and welcome to A Table for Four, a new and exciting craft show where we're going to be looking at lots of tricks and techniques and especially get ahead, get a hat. We've got lots of hats in front of us and between us we're going to assemble our very own bespoke hat. But before we start, I'd love you to welcome our guests with a nice big round of applause. Thank you. Now I'm going to ask you to introduce yourselves.
My name's Óonagh. I'm from Donegal, but I've been living in Belfast a long time and I've been knitting since I was 7, really into crafting, so I'm excited to learn something new.
Thank you. And would you like to introduce yourself?
I will. My name's Avril and I'm from Lisburn and I'm happily retired in April. So I've discovered a whole new world. I did like crafting and sort of it was put in the back burner with family, blah, 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 blah. So I've now discovered all this wonderful new world of retirement.
We'll hear more about your crafting interests as
Yes.
we move along the programme. And next to me,
My name's Carmen and I live close to Belfast as well. And I have been crafting for more than 40 years. So I do a wee bit of everything, but knitting and crocheting would be my favourite. It's always.
that's lovely. Thank you. We've got a soft brimmed fedora hat there. A soft brimmed fedora is something really nice to work with. It hasn't got too much structure, so it's perfect for maybe doing some applique. You could add some buttons to it. You could add a ribbon. Avril, you've done really well. You've got my favourite hat. It's just my head is too big for it. So again, a structured hat, a harder hat, and I'd love you to really just add that bit of your own personality. You've got a bit of sparkle going on
Yes,
there.
very blingy.
So as soon as you walked in, I thought, great. And over to you. I have to ask you something. Your name is intriguing me. Were you named after the opera?
No. There was a wee bit of dispute going on. I was the first grandchild in the family, and both grannies were like, you know, I want to call her Minnie, I want to call her Elsie. Mum and Dad just went, no, we'll just take whatever name comes next, and it happened to be a bunny girl called Carmen. So it's not as romantic.
Well, I think because you have got my favourite hat, would you like to reveal what's under your hat? We've chosen this for Carmen. Little bunny tail. For those of you who are too young to know what a bunny girl was, they were kind of glorified kind of waitresses, hostesses in certain establishments, and they have become a phenomenon. But Carmen, I've never met anyone who was named after one. So all the materials that you've got in front of you, this workshop is very kind of self-propelled. I'm here to guide you. So what I'm going to do is really simply take the lime green berry and I'm going to start adding some daisies, you know, very kind of 1960s, very Mary Quant. But to start off with, to make sure they look okay, I'm just going to pin them on. So we're now starting our workshop.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that.
Don't you?
So I think having a little experiment is good. Do feel free at any stage to put the hat on the polystyrene head.
Yeah.
It sometimes is really good. So, Carmen, bunny girl, tell me, what are you going to do with your hat? Do you like perhaps have a little chat with me?
I'm going to put some of this, so I have 2 people in mind. So I have an aunt who loves leopard print. So as soon as I seen this, that reminded me of her. So I would like to put it round the rim.
Lovely.
And maybe sew a wee bit of pink, maybe round it or to join it or something, and then put this on.
As a pom-pom or on the side?
On the side.
On the side, that's lovely.
And then put some of the black netting round it.
Okay. You sound like you know where you're going.
Yeah.
Avril, what are you thinking of doing?
Well, I like bling. I love bling.
Really?
I love bling. Everything's bling. Yeah, so I would like to bling up this hat.
Okay, fabulous.
So I'm just going to add this gold
Oh, wonderful.
around it. And
That'd
then
be gorgeous.
I'm looking at your flowers there, you know.
You're working on the polystyrene head. Very happy for you to carry on doing that. So Óonagh, over to you now. Let's look at your lovely hats. What are you thinking of doing?
I was going to make like a brooch kind of thing
Yeah.
to go on the side, and I really like leaves, like felt leaves and flowers and things like that on hats as well. So maybe I was thinking of making a brooch and having it pinned on the side somewhere.
I think that's a really lovely idea. So what types of sewing did you learn at school? This always fascinates me because they don't teach it as much now.
I think the first thing we done was a pin cushion, and it was like a wee heart. You'd cut the heart out with the felt and then embellish it. And I think it was for my mum. It was like for Mother's Day. So
That's
it was.
beautiful.
So that was the first thing that we done. Another thing that we done that I would still do today with, well, I have done with my daughter and nieces and nephew, is clothes pegs. You know, taking them apart and making like a wee rocking chair.
I've never done that.
I've not heard of that either.
You just take them all apart, and if you look on YouTube, it'll give you like, because I couldn't remember how to do it, so I had to look up YouTube and see how to do it.
So do you use the peg bits as the rockers?
And then you can do like a wee, like a proper like rocking chair, wee bit going here in the middle and up this way and kind of stuff. So I love doing stuff like that, you know, that I would have done at school. I remember doing that and varnishing it and all, and
really?
I know, and it was good for Cindy dolls. Well, if you're that old, you know, it was good for.
How about you at school? What
at
sort of sewing did you learn?
We made a night dress. And it wasn't a negligee. Oh yes, and mine was an unfortunate colour. It was brown. I don't know if it was going into to be a nun or what. I don't know, but it was. That was the first thing that we made was a night dress, and we made an apron.
Yeah,
the famous apron.
I think.
Yeah.
We probably were about maybe the same era at school because was your apron gingham?
It was gingham.
With rickrack.
Yeah. That was one of the first things, and then the famous night dress, and then sort of home economics or sewing. It kind of went off the curriculum, and you know, which is
it's such a shame. Yeah. How about you, Óonagh? What sort of sewing did you learn at school?
Well, again, I was left-handed, so that was already a bad start.
I feel your pain.
Trying to knit in straight lines was not, or sew in straight lines was not something that went down very well. And then the projects were really not useful. There were things like a bag to keep your pajamas in.
I would have needed one of those for my night.
I never used that. Well, you can have it if you want.
I think they called them a night dress case.
A night dress case?
Because I think it was a way of teaching you how to do a zip. But I still can't do a zip. I can do lots of things, but I cannot do a zip.
I think I on purpose did a snap button, so I didn't have to do zips.
How are you getting on there? Let me have a look.
I keep trying to stretch it out, so as not to.
I quite like that. That's lovely. That's really good. And what you can do is, if it's a little bit fluffy, just the old trick of a bit of sellotape or whatever. I've got a puppy at the moment, so my life is one of those roly things. And what you can do is, if whoever you've made it for, you find it's a bit too small, again, steam. Just be really, really careful. Yeah. Wear oven gloves and just steam it, and then just stretch it. You can't do much damage. Even just stretch it slowly like that. That's gorgeous. I think that's doing really, really well. And don't forget, you've got buttons that you can add and all sorts of bits and pieces. So, would you wear a hat, Óonagh?
I love a woolly hat.
A woolly hat. Well, what I've also got then that you can take with you, I'm just thinking with your soft colouring, that would be a nice little hat. So add that to your bag to take with you.
Thanks.
How do you think I'm going to sew this on?
Right. I think I've got an extra long needle here.
All right, okay.
Would you like me to have a go?
I don't mind.
Let me just... There is a thing, but it always makes me wince when I hear it called a teddy bear needle. Have any of you watched The Repair Shop?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The teddy bear ladies. When they mend a teddy bear, the poor teddy, they get this needle and they stick this needle. It's a special needle for making toys that goes all the way. Say you've got to put the eyes on something, but you've got a long way to get up. It's about that long, but it's quite hard to use. So what I would use is quite long I can get that all the way through for you. If you tell me what thread you want put on, I'm going to do a bit of...
Just do like a natural thread.
Well, why don't we go for cotton?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have some threaded here, but that's not going to be any good.
Okay, so... And would you wear a hat?
I would wear a woolly hat walking the dog. So that would be me.
Woolly hat, backpack,
Yeah.
and
The whole-
treats, the
yeah,
whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when it rains here, if you've got a hat on, you don't have to worry about an umbrella. It's one less thing to carry. So what I'm doing here, using the needle thread, if you've never used it before, you just literally put the metal bit through the eye and then put what you want to pull through in that bit and then just gently pull it through. Okay? You have to go all the way, and there we go, like that.
So handy.
Yeah. And so what I like about it is it's really brightly coloured. A lot of them I've lost because they've been silver. Another thing that's really good for fixing pom-poms is wool. It's really, really strong. So let's give it a go. Where's your pom-pom?
There's it there.
Where's your bunny tail? So I don't know what this is constructed of. I think it's like polyester, like a little,
Yeah.
you know, the type of thing you get at
Yeah.
Easter. So I'm going to go all the way up. So where did you want this fixed?
We'll just put it. We'll take
So we're
your
going to go on the
advice
top.
and
So
go
what we'll
on
do
the top.
is, I'm not going to cut that off in case you decide to remove your bunny tail at some stage. So the first thing I would do would be just a little holding stitch. I just went all the way through there, but I didn't mention it. So I'm just going to do a little back stitch. Sometimes, there we go, a little back stitch. And literally, in the time we've got, this is perfect. Because so literally go up, poke that out the top. Just be careful when you're going back down again. Just go slightly off centre, otherwise you'll end up going through the same hole and you'll be back at square one again. So just give it a bit of a, there we go. Just be careful like that and then pull that. And when you're sewing, I don't know the way you were taught, I was kind of taught to kind of go kind of a bit diagonally away.
So you don't hit yourself.
Yeah,
Or
and then what I do is just, again, a back stitch, which is just going over and over where you came out. But I'm going to suggest you do one little thing here. You add a button.
Very good.
And this is a little get a hat trick that I learnt. If you put the button there, that will just secure your hat on. So I'll let you,
Okay,
I'll let you
that's
do
great.
that.
Thank
And
you.
don't forget, you've got your nice little sticker that is a table
Yeah.
for four for your hat band
It
to go
is,
in.
it is somewhere.
Don't worry, I can always give you another one. I'm just having a look at your leaves. They look lovely.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So
That's
far.
gorgeous.
Oh,
I'm wondering whether we look for a ribbon that might be a nice colour to go there. Would you like me to do that for you?
Sure.
Let's just see. We've got a little... Just thinking. I'm wondering whether that might be quite a nice colour, just to lift it slightly. Or would you prefer a more... That's quite nice, isn't it? Are you going to use that?
No, I'm not using it.
How about that colour?
Yeah, I like a lot of colour.
You like it? Would you like me to fix your hat ribbon on while you're
Sure.
doing that? Okay. So this is just another little tip as well for those of you watching. I can't wait to see the veil. That's gorgeous. The reveal. What I'm going to do is remove, and again, oh, there's me saying cap bands aren't really fixed. This one is. So this is actually glued. So I'm literally, I'm taking a bit of a risk here. I hope the whole thing doesn't fall apart. But I'm just easing that off. But what I'm going to do is let you keep that in case you ever want to. And yours is going to become a choker for another workshop. There we go. So again, so you can be quite firm with it. There. I don't know how old this hat is, but it's quite old. So put that in your little goodie bag. And what, again, I would do, ideally, you can buy these from a shop locally that costs about £3 or £4. and they're great for if you want to do some work on your hats. But how often are you going to sit at home and work on your hats? You probably would only do it as you've got an event or something to go to. I think that looks really lovely.
Yeah.
Just looks different.
So what I'm going to do is literally, I'm not going to glue it, I'm going to pin it and then put a cross stitch. So there are some stitches that are your best friend. Running stitch is your basic stitch. A cross stitch is the strongest stitch that you can use, believe it or not. So I'll probably put a little cross stitch there. So I'm just going to...
I think I'm going to do a rose.
You think you're going to do a rose out of net? That's lovely. That's a nice idea. So you were telling me you're a scientist.
Yeah.
So there's a great connection between science, medicine and the arts. There's a real synergy. And I suppose as a scientist, your focus can often be quite intense, quite demanding, quite draining. To then turn around and do something creative is quite lovely, I think.
Yeah, it definitely helps you relax, I think, after you've had a hard day of it. Although I'm a very detail-oriented person, so then I end up really focusing on the tiny things when I'm sewing or knitting or whatever.
But I think that's the beauty of knitting. It's absorbing. You can kind of still do something else while you're knitting, whereas I have to do something that I can't do anything else. I kind of like to completely focus on one thing. It kind of slows me down. I was telling somebody earlier, my watch regularly tells me to breathe. Really? Sewing, because your kind of mind and your body just relaxes. It's quite meditative. But that really simply has just done that. That's given that a real lift. And I think when you get home, try the technique. Either you could have it like floppy 1970s, or you could go like that and shape it. Are you going to put your leaves on the side of the hat?
Yeah.
I think so. That means then you could just put one stitch all the way through that.
Okay.
So to put a holding stitch through that, you don't have to overstitch a hat band. You don't have to do every bit. And then I would think about arranging your leaves that way. But do, like I said, hold it arm's length. What I could do is, if you needed another hat stand, we could always borrow that for a moment.
Yeah.
Would that be possible? Just have a look at it. And just hold it away from you and think, where would I like that to go? I think a hat like that needs to be at a bit of an angle. And so just think, to give your leaves maybe a bit of attitude.
Okay. Yeah.
In a good way. All right. So that's great. So we've got the scientist who makes hats, and we've got the bling lady who's making a really and we've got the bunny girl who's making her bunny bonnet. Could we just have a little update on how you're getting on?
I'm going to try and do like 2 roses. Well, they're meant to look like roses, don't really.
How do you make your rose? Show me.
Just cut. I don't want to cut anymore.
Oh, please do.
So
I'm
I'll
saving
use
the pink for Lady Gaga.
Well, I'm gonna use a wee bit of the pink. So all I did was cut a wee, even though just a wee slither, and then I just rolled it up,
Oh, like a little cone.
and then kind of tried to put it, fold it over. So I'm thinking if it just,
That gives you like a little rosebud.
and then if I try and stick that in
I
there.
see. Well, do you know what? You could fix that the same way that we fix the pom-pom.
Yeah.
Just putting the needle all
Right,
the way through, but maybe go from the underneath so that your tail is hanging down.
Yeah.
I just thought of... Were those yours? Sorry.
No,
I'm
no, they're not.
That might be...
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, they're kind of like almost little crab apples or something. I love that colour. What's really interesting is you've been drawn to colours that all suit your natural palette and your natural bling. Why not take those, just in case you wanted to maybe add those? Don't forget, we've also got, I'm only saying, okay, that's lovely. So don't be afraid to use the net or take the net with you, because what you can do is Velcro is your best friend when you're using hats. So you can, but Velcros would be quite uncomfortable if you were, say you were attaching a veil to the front of a hat that you could then reveal back. If you take that off, the Velcro would be quite hard on your head. So just be careful. But Velcro is your best friend when you're making hats as well. So I'm going to go back to Carmen and just see what stage you're at now. So you've put your trim on, you've got your roses, you've got your pom-pom. I think that's gorgeous. And you've got another hat that you're going to take away with you that you're going to work on. I've just noticed some other ribbon here that is quite gorgeous as well. That's quite nice for your colour palette as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And wow, you've done an amazing job there. Are you just stitching your final piece through there? That's what I'm saying. The better quality the hat, the more difficult it is to sew. That's why proper milliners have got terrible fingers, and they always wear like metal guards, like bookmakers would wear, almost like an elongated thimble. It's like a finger guard.
Yeah, I can see that.
That looks absolutely stunning, and I hope you're going to wear that home. You're going to wear that. I really, really love that. That would be fantastic. And Óonagh, let's have a look at yours. How are you getting on?
Well, I'm just trying to put these onto the wee brooch bits,
That's perfect.
and then like
That
more
is-
like autumnal colours, I
that is
guess, to put on
lovely.
there.
That's fabulous. And what I'd love you to do is maybe take some ribbon with you so that you can change the palette of your ribbon, and even take a few of the flowers with you as well, because you know you like your autumnal colours, and there are still flowers growing at the moment, and I think a hat is for every day. It doesn't have to be seasonal. So Carmen, do you work in the arts at all, or do you have any hobbies that you would use commercially in any way?
I would kind of do for friends and family and stuff like that there, and anybody's had babies, I would normally do them like wee blankets and stuff. But I also do a wee thing called Piece Together, and it's like all crafts. It's meant to be like CBT through craft. Now I can't say there's a lot of CBT done. There's more lots of fun and stuff. But one of the things we do is like breaking up, getting a hammer, breaking up tiles, putting them onto a heart, putting the thing on it. It's all very like therapeutic. Yeah, like a museum
So a bit
thing.
of destruction to create something new.
Yeah.
And that feeling, I think, do you feel like you release some endorphins when you're doing it, and the happy hormone?
Yeah, it's just really lovely. It's just like a few ladies get together, and it's just lovely just sitting, having a bit of a laugh and eating or drinking tea and eating buns and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sorry of no buns. So that creative community you find really therapeutic, and you kind of you find it helpful. It's kind of relaxing and everything.
Definitely.
And the blankets you make, what are they made from?
I like to do, is it chenille?
Yeah.
Oh, they're
You
really
know,
soft.
you know, really like, and a lot of the people that I have done them for, they've kept the blankets for the, you know, like right up, like, you know, that they're still, kids are maybe about 5 and 6 and they're still taking them to bed. And
That's lovely. Thank you so much. And how about you? Is there any things that you make or you sell commercially, or do you go to other crafting groups or anything like that?
Well, what I've started to do is upcycle furniture, you know, so painting the furniture.
Wow, what types of things do you do?
So my house is, I suppose, 30-year-old, and it's all, you know, the dark wood, and it was very sort of, so I stripped the stairs down and we primed it and painted it. And then my mother saw it, and she lives in an even older house, and so she wanted her stairs done. Don't start on stairs. So we did the stairs, we did that, and then she wanted some bits of furniture painted, so we've done that. So that's really what I've been doing, you know. So and yeah, it's very enjoyable as well. So.
Did you take all the carpet off? And
Yeah, the carpet
That's
all
hard
had to
work.
come back off, and all the stain off the stairs, and it was hard work.
have you found it funny? What I'm finding amazing, there's been this upsurge in interest in modern age, vintage, mid-century. It's all the types of things that when I was growing up I didn't want in my bedroom.
Yes,
Now
yes.
I'm finding them, and if I come home with like a nest of tables that says Urkel on, my husband is like, oh no, not more. But it's really funny the way things become recycled.
All that G-plans, furniture, do you remember? And,
but I think upcycling is really uplifting.
yeah.
And it's a lovely community activity that you could then, somebody else might see you doing it. Have you ever done any decoupage onto furniture?
No, I haven't done that now yet.
That might be,
Yeah.
I'm not saying do your stairway, but that's a really lovely option. I think lots of programs and lots of things influence it. We see so much more of other people's lives and what their houses look like, that there's always something that you see.
I used to make cushions as well, and I did sell them, and I used, you know, the fabric books that you'd see, you choose your fabric swatch, sample books. So I would have bought those when they were going out of, you know, stock, and there had been all Harlequin and all that sort of nice. And then, but you only could get one side of the cushion, then you have to make the other side plain. But I enjoyed that now.
I'd love to see some of your knitwear.
I'm wearing a jumper.
Because we met when we were out for a walk, because I was drawn to you because you look very creative.
Yeah,
I think your friend volunteered you. So, do you knit by commission or?
No, it really is just something that my mum was really into crafting and sewing and stuff. So she sent me to like learn how to knit from no age. Really? And my grandparents were knitters, so they were like helping me all the time to learn all that stuff. And my mum worked in a factory sewing buttons on. So everyone.
Was it a famous knitwear company?
It was a company called Adria.
Yeah. I love those jumpers. Yeah.
So she worked there for a long time, and I think that kind of has just led into all of us. Like everyone in my family is crafty.
So tell me a little bit about that jumper.
Well, this was a kit that I bought from a company in Dublin called This Is Knit, and they were doing like a introduction of a wool made by a company in Ireland, and it's the first like wool company that uses sheep's wool from Ireland in a long time. So they were selling the pattern for the jumper with the wool so that you could make it at home.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Beautiful. And did you send them a photograph of the finished piece?
Not yet. I'm still have to get my glamour shots yet.
Avril, I think you're about ready to show everybody your hat. Are you happy for us to have a look at it? So what I'm going to get you to do is position your hat as you'd like the audience to see it. What I think is gorgeous is the little cone of the gold. The braiding looks like little crowns.
Yeah.
I think the button detail on the back, I'm going to borrow that idea. I think you could go from upcycling staircases to upcycling hats. So I'll see you in the Lisbon Road for coffee, and we'll go on a hat tour. I really think you captured that beautifully. I think that deserves its own round of applause. Well done. Lovely. Thank you very much indeed. Are you ready to show us your hat? So would you like to place it on the... Oh, that is absolutely so splendid. I think that is beautiful. They're so different. It's the same workshop, completely different. Well done. I think, again, that hat deserves its praise. Now, are you ready?
Yeah.
Is the bunny ready?
It's a bit more tacky.
What I'm going to do is move this so we can... I'd like you to get it on position how you think you'd like it to be. And then I think that is absolutely splendid. I'm just going to put that back there so everybody can see that.
Very good.
And I definitely think that deserves a whoop. I think, well done. So thank you for joining us at a table for four for Get Ahead, Get a Hat. Look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.